The Great Mercury Loop will last from February 6, 2026 to April 16. These nearly 70 days represent the immersion of the most logical and rational planet of the solar system into the depths of Neptune, into the domain of the sign of Pisces. This period has a number of special features and traps that are important for every zodiac sign. It is a time when our thoughts, conclusions, decisions, reinterpretation of our past life experience, and the rewiring of our beliefs and habits to fit new realities will all become the foundation on which we will build our lives until March 18, 2027, for an entire year. We will talk about the Mercury loop itself, about the important key dates along its path, and about its retrograde motion, which will begin a little later in the same zodiac sign. We will also talk about Mercury's important mission in our earthly affairs, about the influence of this great Mercury loop on all of us, and separately about each zodiac sign. In our everyday lives, Mercury symbolizes 5 main elements. First, money. Money as currency, cash, and also money as mutual settlements and financial exchanges. Second, our logic, memory, our ability to reason, and our ability to connect events and their consequences into a single logical chain. Third, our speech, both spoken and written. This includes our ability to speak, to put thoughts into words, to reason, to negotiate, and to communicate with other people. Fourth, on an external level, Mercury symbolizes the mass media, news channels, television, and also markets, both stock exchanges and trade. Fifth, on a personal level, Mercury symbolizes the totality of our own beliefs that were formed on the basis of our life experience and knowledge. This is our understanding and belief about how the world is structured and how everything functions. As Mercury transits through each of the 12 zodiac signs, it manifests different characteristics. In the sign of Pisces, where it will remain from February 6 to April 16, 2026, Mercury is weak and disoriented. Why? Pisces is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac in the universal horoscope. It is a space that blurs and dissolves everything familiar and logical, everything that seems correct, standard, and dogmatic. Here, in Pisces, the logic of the soul is present, while Mercury carries the logic of objective, obvious earthly rules. In this realm of soul logic, a logic beyond what can be understood through simple earthly rules, Mercury has no solid ground beneath its feet. For each of us, this transit of Mercury through Pisces is a period when we encounter situations in which our habitual rules and beliefs no longer work. We may face moments when we do not understand the logic of what is happening at all. We may encounter circumstances where we realize that our usual, well-known rules of life are no longer effective. We may feel that some form of higher logic is required, or that we need to rely on faith in certain people or information that suggests specific ideas to us. If we cannot figure something out and feel that our mind is literally melting from trying to understand it, it becomes easy to believe those who claim they know how everything works. This is where special attentiveness is required. It is precisely now that we may receive information or an idea from outside that we will later perceive as our own once Mercury crosses the boundary between Pisces and Aries, starting from April 16, 2026. During this transit through Pisces, it is very easy to plant the seeds of ideas in us that we will sincerely perceive as our own after April 16. Therefore, it is extremely important to monitor the cleanliness of your informational environment and the quality of the sources you use. Let us divide this nearly 70-day transit of Mercury through Pisces into periods and discuss the characteristics of each. When Mercury enters Pisces, our thinking becomes deeper and more philosophical rather than practical. Situations become more confusing, uncertainty appears, and our confidence in the correctness of our chosen path decreases. On February 9, Mercury forms a conjunction with one of the destructive royal stars, Fomalhaut. Decisions made on this day, if based on vanity or ego, become destructive. This is a very important point, a day when we essentially choose our path. Are we moving toward the light or toward the darkness? When making decisions on this day, it is important to ask yourself, am I making this decision for a good cause? Am I acting from a position of creation and light or from destruction? On February 12, the Mercury loop itself begins. Mercury will be at the 9th degree of Pisces, and it will return to this point during its retrograde motion on March 21. From February 12 to February 26, Mercury continues moving direct, but is already inside its loop. This means that during this period, we will encounter failures in our system of rules, beliefs, dogmas, and our understanding of how the world functions. For example, guided by our life experience, knowledge, and the experience of friends, we take an action that usually works, but now it does not. This can manifest in different areas of life, or we encounter a situation in which we have no experience and ask others for advice. We receive instructions and recommendations, but they do not work. For instance, we need to install an application on a laptop. We do not know how to do it intuitively, so we watch an instructional video online that provides a full step-by-step guide. We follow it, but nothing works because the video was recorded months ago and the system has since been updated. The old rules no longer apply. Similar situations can appear in many areas of life. On February 26, Mercury turns retrograde, a phase that lasts until March 21. Mercury returns to the point it occupied on February 12. This is a time of rethinking, searching for new rules and working systems. It is a time to create new logical chains and to reprogram our knowledge and experience to fit new trends and realities. Each of us has two paths here. The first is to become irritated that everything no longer works as it used to. The second is to find new logical connections, move to a higher level of understanding, and see meaning in these processes. On March 21, Mercury turns direct again. From March 21 to April 10, it retraces the same path it traveled earlier, but now in direct motion. This is the time to implement everything we have rethought, corrected, and adjusted to the demands of the time. On April 16, Mercury leaves Pisces and crosses into Aries. A new Mercury cycle begins. It passes through the gates of burning the past and begins to sow the seeds that were formed in our thoughts during its time in Pisces. This marks the beginning of action. The transit of Mercury through Pisces is a time of forming meanings, root causes, and motivation that has not yet been expressed in words. The thought is ripening. It has not yet been spoken. But everything we think through during this period will be embodied in reality over the course of the entire year, until March 2027. During this transit, there will be two microloops. One is a trap and the other is a loop of luck. The trap loop consists of 3 dates: February 10, March 16, and March 28. On these days, a tense aspect between Mercury and the black moon will repeat 3 times. These are days of heightened suggestibility. It is important to be careful about which information sources you trust. There may be distortions of information. We may misunderstand situations or express ourselves in a way that others misunderstand. It is important to be cautious in both spoken and written communication, avoid mistakes in documents, and prevent misunderstandings with others. The second microloop is the loop of luck. It also consists of 3 dates: February 16, March 9, and April 3. On these days, Mercury forms a favorable aspect with Jupiter, the most beneficent planet in the solar system. These are lucky days for Mercury-related matters: money, agreements, public speaking, social and public activities. These are good days for purchases, decisions, family matters, planning or taking trips, concluding profitable deals, and resolving issues involving authority figures, management, leadership, parents, or government institutions. Throughout the entire transit of Mercury through Pisces, ritual actions we associate with luck, will work especially strongly. For example, wearing a dress we associate with good luck, carrying a personal lucky talisman, or creating objects meant to attract luck will be particularly effective. There is one more important Mercury point that will occur later, on April 20, 2026. This is the day of a triple conjunction of Mercury, Mars, and Saturn. This is a time of formidable outcomes, which will be discussed in a separate video. Now let us talk separately about each zodiac sign and which area of life this Mercury transit will affect for you. Aries. For Aries, this Mercury transit will move through your 12th house of the horoscope. This is the house of completion, secrets, the past, intuition, and everything that is hidden. For you, this is a time to listen to yourself. Your intuition can now tell you things your mind would never figure out on its own. It is important to pay attention to the inner sensations certain people evoke in you. If someone behaves like a friend, but something inside suggests they have hidden intentions toward you, or if after communicating with a person you feel pessimistic thoughts or emotional exhaustion, it is worth reflecting on this. This is a time for an information detox, limiting external information as much as possible and listening more closely to your inner sensations and spontaneous thoughts. Speak less, listen, and think more. The 12th house is the house of secrets, and now you may share a secret with someone, a long-held secret or a situation from your distant past that still holds meaning for you. The retrograde Mercury loop brings things back into our lives. This may be a topic you once reflected on, a path you once walked, both literally and metaphorically, or people you have not communicated with for a long time. They may reach out or an unexpected meeting may occur. This is also a time for handling paperwork. These may be documents related to real estate or place of residence, or medical documents and certificates. You may repeat tests, undergo another course of treatment, or revisit medical examinations if health matters are relevant for you. People you live with or regularly interact with may ask you to help them understand information, get involved in their affairs, or solve their problems. Because the 12th house is the house of completion and Mercury symbolizes thought, this is a time to cleanse your informational flow. You may ask yourself, which thoughts do I want to get rid of? What matter do I want to finish so that I no longer think about it or remember it? This is also a time for preparing new initiatives and refining plans. You may have an interesting and promising idea, but find it difficult to think it through right now. Do not rush yourself. Some ideas need time to mature. Taurus. For Taurus, Mercury will be located in your 11th house. This is the house of results, the vision of the future, siblings, and social realization. This is a time when, on one hand, you sum up the results of your interactions with certain people or groups, at work or through shared interests. You may ask yourself, what results has this cooperation brought? Is it still beneficial, or is it time to change the terms of our agreements? Communication with a brother or sister may arise around an issue you periodically discuss. This is an excellent time to upgrade your projects. It is favorable for updating your social media profiles, adjusting the design of a website, or developing new products or services for an online store. In general, it is a good time to reformat, improve, and refine your internet-based activities, whether professional or personal. If there are children in your life who are not your own but whom you care for, such as nieces, nephews, godchildren, or your partner's children from a previous relationship, new issues related to them may arise. This may require more attention or involve additional expenses, such as gifts or increased financial obligations. You may also want to take a closer look at your partner's hobbies, wondering whether they are spending too much time or money on impractical interests. People you once worked closely with or were part of a team with may reappear in your life, former colleagues or clients. You may rejoin a group or online community and renew useful personal, friendly, or business connections. A secret admirer may resume their attention toward you. If you are involved in relationships that are unclear or hidden, this is a time to rethink their meaning and future prospects. You may also return to a plan connected to your future, something you have thought about from time to time, and now it can receive a new impulse for development. Gemini. For Gemini, Mercury will transit your 10th house, the highest point of the horoscope. This house represents your place on the social and career ladder, your status, authority, and achievements. Any astrological events here concern truly important matters: work, career, place of residence, major deals, or documents that define and confirm your status. The 10th house also reflects your status in personal life and processes related to your parents. This is a time when your job responsibilities and role descriptions may be revised. Relationships with management, colleagues, or clients may change. Mercury in Pisces symbolizes unreliable information, so mistakes may surface that need correction. The incompetence of people you deal with professionally may become apparent, or bureaucratic processes involving officials may be disrupted. External circumstances may affect your plans and deadlines. This is a time for issuing or reissuing documents related to work or business, property ownership, lease agreements, education, or legal status documents. This may include obtaining a marriage certificate, pension documents, or a residence permit. New rules or instructions may seem strange and illogical, with little clarity on how to implement them. Pisces is a sign of completion, so now you may try to finish a matter that has dragged on for a long time. Though it may have developed chaotically, things can finally fall into place. Cancer. For Cancer, Mercury will transit your 9th house, forming a favorable aspect for your sign. This is a time to sum up everything you have learned over the past year: new knowledge, skills, foreign languages, and life experience. You may ask yourself, how has my worldview changed? What new paths have opened for me? How has my understanding of the world and my opportunities in it evolved? What new places have I seen? Which rules and procedures have I mastered? How have my relationships with people from afar changed? This is a time to reformat and adjust relationships with business partners, especially those from distant locations. Conditions of cooperation with marketplaces, suppliers, or clients may change. You may reissue legal or bureaucratic documents or revisit administrative procedures. Since the 9th house governs foreign matters, this is a time to renew passports, visas, or residence permits. It is an excellent time to refine projects related to intellectual work, teaching, or learning. Some matters may be handled remotely, and you may retake exams. Some may decide to change jobs or professional direction, though this decision may initially remain internal and manifest later. There may still be doubts, or you may simply complete your term with your current employer. You may receive news from or meet friends or relatives who live far away. On the downside, property or financial disputes with business partners or relatives may resurface. For you, it is important now to remove self-imposed limitations and prohibitions, and to see the world, your path, and your range of possibilities more broadly. Leo. For Leo, Mercury will be located in your 8th house. This is the house of transformation, crisis, and childhood fears. On an external, event-based level, this sector symbolizes shared finances and resources, joint property, investments, passive income, and major purchases. It also reflects how a shared budget is distributed, both within the family and with business partners. This sector shows financial settlements with other people, organizations, and the state. On a psychological level, it represents inner purity. Mercury has a lot to work through here, and its loop will affect both external events and internal psychological processes. Let us begin with the external level. This is a time to reformat your financial relationships with other people, organizations, and government institutions. You may arrange or renew insurance policies, resolve issues related to taxes, alimony, or other financial obligations, both those you owe and those owed to you. This may be a period of dealing with banks, opening or renewing bank cards or accounts, addressing issues related to loans, mortgages, or debts. Questions related to taxes, alimony, or social payments may arise. The way you manage a shared budget may change, as may your partner's income. This also applies to shared finances with parents or financial arrangements involving them. Profit distribution with business partners may change. The amount of regular payments you make or receive may be revised. This can be a time of making deals, purchases, or sales. Issues related to utility payments may also be addressed, such as re-registering accounts. Because Mercury is in Pisces for you, your 8th house, this is a space of completion and summing up. You may review your financial, material, or energetic exchanges with others. You may evaluate how much energy, time, and money you invest in certain processes, and what you receive in return. The 8th house is challenging for all signs, but especially for you. Challenging does not mean negative, it simply requires deeper understanding. This is the house of other people's resources, which we may temporarily use, such as loans, mortgages, or financial support from partners or parents. If borrowed resources are not used to create something valuable, useful, or promising, part of your personal light may be lost. People with strong Pisces influence in your life, relatives, friends, colleagues, are karmically important for you. The nature of your relationship with them reflects your relationship with yourself and with life as a whole. The 8th house is also the house of passion. Someone with whom you once shared strong passion may reappear. This does not necessarily mean the relationship will resume, but there may be a meeting, a conversation, or a gift. On an inner psychological level, this is a time when fears you thought you had already overcome may resurface, often through dreams. This allows you to relive and release situations that originally gave rise to these fears, letting them go for good. Virgo. For Virgo, Mercury will transit your 7th house, the sector of partnerships. Here, Mercury's work unfolds both on the external, event-based level and on a deep internal psychological level. In your case, the inner work is even more important than external events. This is a time for analytical reflection on your unspoken relationship scripts, the implicit agreements you have with partners in personal life, friendship, and business. Everyone has such an unspoken scenario, though not everyone can articulate it. Often it manifests as mutual tolerance of each other's quirks. As long as boundaries are not crossed, criticism is avoided. During this transit, it is important to identify and verbalize your own unspoken script and to notice which partners disrupt the balance. If the imbalance becomes noticeable or uncomfortable, it is time to make the implicit explicit and discuss it openly. This is also a time to analyze your relationships, both past and present. You may discover similarities between past and current partners, even if you are convinced they are completely different people. Understanding what connects these relationships will help you see the recurring pattern you have been living out. The 7th house is also the house of trust. You may clearly determine whom you trust completely, whom you trust partially, and whom you do not trust at all. On an external level, this transit may bring restructuring of personal, friendly, or business relationships. Events in your partner's lives, their plans, or circumstances may influence your own plans. Carelessness or decisions based on incorrect information on their part may force you to intervene. People you work with may unexpectedly change their decisions, opinions, or choices. Delivery times, payments, production schedules, and cooperation terms may shift. This is an excellent time to clarify misunderstandings, correct what needs fixing, open someone's eyes to reality, or have an honest conversation. Libra. For Libra, Mercury will be in your 6th house, the house of work, daily routines, and everyday responsibilities, both at work and at home. This is a time to reassess and adjust your daily processes, to consider where your time and energy go, and how to optimize your schedule. You may eliminate inefficient routines, automate certain tasks, or redistribute responsibilities, both domestic and professional. Delegation may be challenging for you, as your 6th house lies in Pisces, a sign associated with illusions and unreliable information. This can create a belief that it is better to do everything yourself to avoid mistakes. However, this mindset becomes a trap that prevents true rest. If during this transit you feel unable to concentrate when needed, yet unable to relax when it is time to rest, especially if you come home still mentally replaying work processes and imagining potential mistakes, something needs to change. Responsibilities must be redistributed. This includes delegating not only tasks, but also responsibility, and resisting the urge to redo what others have done. Mercury's transit through the 6th house also affects your health routines. This is a time to reflect on how you maintain your physical and emotional well-being. Through physical practices like exercise or massage, as well as spiritual practices such as prayer, meditation, or psychological training. This Mercury loop may also affect your work situation. Some may return to a former job, come back from a long break, or resume tasks they once performed. Former colleagues or clients may reappear. You may also reconsider your relationships with management, coworkers, or long-term clients. If you run your own business, this is a good time to review business models, make adjustments, and increase efficiency. Regarding health, retrograde Mercury offers a retrospective phase. Repeating treatment courses, preventive care, retaking tests, or obtaining medical documentation may be relevant during this period. Scorpio. For Scorpio, Mercury will be in your 5th house, forming a favorable aspect of luck for your sign. The 5th house is the house of joy, celebration, creativity, individuality, and the joy of being. It is also the house of games people play, both literally and metaphorically. This space also symbolizes your interaction with your own children. This Mercury loop gives you the opportunity to rethink and reassess all of these themes. The first theme is reconsidering what truly brings you joy. What creates a lifted emotional state? What is a genuine source of happiness? And what is artificial? Are you replacing the real and authentic with substitutes? It is worth thinking about what artificial surrogates you use to fill your space of joy, whether it is TV series, games, or food, and returning to true sources of pleasure. The second direction of the 5th house is the space of the heart and love. This is a time to reflect on what and whom you love and what love means to you. It is a time for heartfelt conversations, confessions, and openness with those you love, whether children, romantic partners, or close friends. The third direction concerns the games we play and the masks we wear. This is a time to think about where you are pretending or being insincere, and which role in which game has become unprofitable for you. Consider in which life situations you would like to remove your mask and say, "I'm tired of this. I no longer want to play by these rules." The fourth direction of the 5th house is creativity, the expression of your individuality. Ask yourself whether you allow yourself to show your uniqueness and charisma, or whether you more often try to be like everyone else in order not to stand out or attract attention through your difference. The 5th direction is romance and flirtation. A romantic interest from the past may return, or someone you casually dated or flirted with may reappear. The 6th direction relates to hobbies and personal interests. You may return to a hobby you once had, anything from dancing to knitting. This is a wonderful time to revive a creative initiative of any kind, whether it relates to designing your living space, a hobby project, or a professional idea. Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, Mercury will transit your 4th house. This house symbolizes your home, place of residence, living conditions, and rental arrangements. It also represents family relationships and matters involving relatives. Mercury's work here unfolds both on an external, practical level and on an internal, psychological one. On the external level, this may bring changes in your home environment, rearranging furniture, changing storage systems, or revising household routines and the distribution of family responsibilities. Topics previously discussed within the family may resurface. For some, this may be a time of relocation or renovation, whether of the entire home or specific elements within it. It is a good period to complete unfinished domestic tasks and resolve lingering household issues. You may also handle documents related to property or real estate, such as rental agreements or utility account re-registration. Rental conditions for residential or workspaces may change. Tenants renting your property may change as well. However, new tenants may not stay long, or there may be nuances in your relationships with them, including payment delays. Caution is advised, secure guarantees and advance payments. Recalculations or re-registration of payments related to your property may occur. Be careful if you plan to hire contractors for repairs or construction, as they may prove unreliable, with shifting timelines and costs. This is a good time to finish renovation-related tasks and replace worn-out household items, such as old dishes or textiles. It is also a favorable time to improve relationships with relatives, both close and distant, to stabilize the emotional atmosphere within the family, and to resolve financial settlements between you and your relatives. The fourth house is also the domain of the moon and our sense of security. This is a good time to reflect on what triggers anxiety or disrupts your sense of safety in your home. These fears may be unfounded, and understanding them can help them dissolve. It is also important not to air family conflicts publicly or discuss intimate family matters with outsiders. Capricorn. For Capricorn, Mercury will be in your third house, the space of contacts and communication. This includes interactions not with close people, but with those you engage with occasionally, neighbors, colleagues, clients, or service providers. On one hand, it is useful to make these interactions more friendly and less formal. For example, going for a walk or to the movies with a neighbor, meeting a colleague for coffee, or socializing with someone you usually see only professionally. On the other hand, this helps you better understand whom you can include in your circle of trust. The third house also governs technology and tools we use, communication devices, information tools, and means of transportation, phones, laptops, cars, bicycles. This is a good time to consider upgrading, repairing, or replacing something. It is also the house of contracts, negotiations, and agreements. Conditions of deals and contracts may change. The third house is also the house of learning. You may revisit information, seek deeper understanding of certain processes, or resume a course of study. It also governs documents, which you may update, organize, and put in order. If a process seems delayed during this period, do not try to force it. There may be nuances or details you are not yet aware of, and rushing could create problems. You may also return to a specialist or professional you consult only occasionally. The third house is the house of details and nuances, while Pisces, occupying this house for you, represents chaos. Therefore, this is an especially favorable time to bring order to processes that have been left unmanaged for a while. Aquarius. Mercury will be transiting your second house of the horoscope. This is the area of your resources and your values in the broadest sense of the word. Mercury's work here will take place both externally and internally. The external form is the level of events. During this transit, you may revise your expense categories. You will reconsider your principles and attitudes toward money. You may deal with bank-related matters, such as reissuing a bank card or an account. You will resolve issues related to various payments, as well as questions of distribution, what is mine and what is shared. At this time, you may also address the distribution of certain household or family expenses. During Mercury's transit through the second house, we usually spend our own savings more actively on our personal needs. And since the second house symbolizes our tastes and preferences, they may shift slightly during this period. There may be delays in receiving finances you are expecting, meaning disruptions in the flow of money. This is a time when you will rethink what is truly important to you and what is worth continuing to invest your resources in, resources such as money and property, as well as your time and energy. You will evaluate which of your projects are no longer promising, have lost relevance, or are already outdated. In other words, you will want to identify which projects are currently unprofitable and try to close them. This is truly a good time to assess which of your activities and projects are unprofitable or ineffective, and to try to shut them down, to close the channels through which your energy is leaking. The second house of our horoscope is the house of our values, values in the broadest sense. This is a time when you can reflect on what is genuinely important and valuable to you. Are you missing what is most valuable amid an endless stream of tasks and responsibilities? It is important to remember that our main life resource is ourselves, and we often forget this. We give very little to ourselves and more often simply exploit ourselves. Right now, it is important for you to think about how you can take care of yourself, how you can strengthen and support yourself. This may include sleep, sufficient rest, vitamins, or taking regular breaks from your activities to do what brings you pleasure. The sign of Pisces, where Mercury will be located, is the domain of Neptune, the planet that governs sleep, meditation, and relaxation. Therefore, now you need to give yourself more rest. The more often you remain in a relaxed and calm state, the better your financial channel will function. And the more often you are in a tense state, the more strongly you will feel a lack of some resource, time, or money. This is how your horoscope works. This rule applies not only now, and not only during this Mercury transit. For you, this is a time to relax, because anxiety, worry, and tension do not make us richer. It is important to strengthen yourself, give yourself enough sleep, take vitamins, or treat yourself to something you enjoy. It is also important to remember your value in different roles, in all the roles you play in the performance called life. Pisces. This is the most important Mercury transit for you, because it will be in your sign, in the first house of your horoscope. This creates certain tendencies and a set of tasks. The first house of our horoscope is the house of the self, our image, the external image we show to the world. It is our appearance, our manner of carrying ourselves, speaking, and expressing our opinions. It is our image and style, the entire set of parameters by which other people form an impression of us. Now is the time to rethink the impression we make, what we like about ourselves, and what we do not. Here, the focus is primarily on the external side. During this time, we may revise our style and wardrobe. We may want to experiment, different haircuts, hair color, hairstyles, or a different manicure style. But not only that. Mercury also symbolizes our speech. Now we may reconsider how we express our thoughts, the speed of our speech, the speed at which we make decisions, and the way we verbally express dissatisfaction. At this time, we are looking for a new model of self-expression through words, and we experiment. For Mercury, your sign is a place of silence and quiet. During this period, we may ask ourselves whether we have a tendency to fall silent and stop all dialogue when we see that the accumulation of contradictions with someone has reached its limit. On an inner level, there are also several important tasks. One of them is to review your role in difficulties, not just now, but in general. To reconsider your role both in challenging situations and in successful projects. What is your role in this? Were you the creator and initiator of the storyline, or were you merely a participant in a plot directed by someone else? This is a time to determine whether, in your life, you are more often the creator of situations and stories, or whether you more often go with the flow and simply take part in scenarios created by others. This is a good time to refine or adjust your plans, or to resume certain processes. You may also change your opinion or decision regarding an important situation in your life. Now it is also worth thinking about the fact that we often find it difficult to make a decision because we lack confidence that it is the right one. But in reality, whether a decision is right or wrong is not as important as it seems. It is far more important to make your own decision, even if it turns out to be wrong, than to allow other people to make decisions for you.